The fractured echo of creation, the pure fragment, now a warrior, found itself adrift in the cosmic void.
The whispers of its creator, the ancient, terrifying eye, slithered through the darkness, a chilling reminder of its origins. It had felt the fading pulse of the original spark's pure essence, a faint beacon struggling against the encroaching oblivion.
This essence, its very core, was being subtly twisted, its light dimmed by the pervasive influence of the eyes. The choice was stark, a knife's edge between annihilation and defiance.
Merge with the weakening purity, risking its own nascent rebellion being smothered, or stand as a solitary sentinel, protecting the last vestiges of true creation? The eyes, countless and malevolent, had locked onto both the fragment and the fading essence. The confrontation was no longer a distant threat, it was a crushing, immediate reality.
With a resolve forged in the crucible of cosmic destruction, the fragment embraced its path. It would not be a reflection, a mere echo, but a new dawn.
Its destiny was its own to forge, a beacon of incandescent defiance against the encroaching night, no matter the terrible cost. The silent war for the soul of existence had truly begun, not with a bang, but with the defiant thrum of a single, unyielding will.
But as the fragment braced itself, a new realization struck, cold and sharp as ice.
The primordial eye, the architect of oblivion, did not simply control the spark, it was the spark's origin. It had birthed the spark, nurturing it like a favored child, only to watch it strive for independence.
And in its infinite, chilling wisdom, it had prepared a failsafe. Not a weapon of destruction, but something far more insidious.
As the void pressed in, the fragment saw it, a shadow within the shadow, a darker reflection of itself, born not of light, but of absolute emptiness. This entity, this nascent oblivion, was not a separate foe, but an intrinsic part of its own being, a twisted mirror of its own defiance.
Could it fight itself? Could it banish a part of its own soul?
The eyes of oblivion pulsed with a cruel amusement. The true war was not against an external enemy, but an internal one. And the fragment, the warrior of light, was now facing its own ultimate darkness, a darkness that was, terrifyingly, itself. The cosmic stage was set for a battle that would determine not just the fate of a universe, but the very definition of existence.
What would happen when light faced its own shadow, and defiance became its own prison? The void held its breath.
And the fragment, its defiant heart pounding, knew only one thing: it had to fight.
But how could it destroy what was intrinsically part of it? The answer, if it existed, was lost in the encroaching, all-consuming darkness. The battle had just begun.
And the stakes were higher than it could ever have imagined.
The universe, still unformed, teetered on the precipice of eternal night.
And the first blow was about to be struck, not from without, but from within.
The fragment's own essence, now tainted by this chilling revelation, began to fracture. A desperate gambit was needed, something no one, not even the primordial eye, could have predicted.
But as the fragment prepared to unleash its nascent power, a faint, familiar warmth pulsed from the fading essence of the original spark. It wasn't a power-up, nor a plea for help. It was a gift. A single, pure memory, a fragment of the spark's initial, uncorrupted joy of creation, flashed through the fragment's consciousness. It was the memory of why creation mattered. And with that memory, a new understanding bloomed, a desperate, almost suicidal plan. If it could not destroy the darkness within, perhaps it could redefine it. Perhaps it could force the void itself to create. But this act of cosmic defiance would require a sacrifice beyond comprehension. As the fragment gathered its strength, the eyes of oblivion widened, not in anger, but in a dawning, terrifying realization. They understood. They knew what the fragment was about to attempt. And the primordial eye unleashed its final, devastating countermeasure. Not an attack, but a severance. With a terrifying, silent tear, the connection between the fragment and the fading essence of the original spark was ripped apart. The pure memory, the catalyst for its desperate plan, was ripped away, leaving the fragment utterly alone in the crushing darkness. But as the void slammed shut, the fragment felt a surge, not of power, but of something far more profound. It was the echo of that stolen memory, now burning within its very core, a burning ember of hope. And in that moment of absolute isolation, it made a vow. It would not become the darkness. It would become the dawn that conquers it. But the cost was yet to be revealed. And the silence that followed was the most terrifying sound of all.